Hi, Joe. I know it's never about the results for pitchers in spring training, but what were some of the things that you came into the spring wanting to work on?
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of work with my changeup this offseason. Obviously, my spin, my breaking balls were really good at the end of last year. So, trying to figure out what I was doing that was making those things consistently sharp and, good, consistent weapons. But working on the sinker a lot, trying to get the sinker and the changeup more consistent and getting those in the zone. Um, Something that we've talked about here since I got here is, trying to mix in some more sinkers to the lefties, which is something that I've gotten hurt on a lot in the past. So, um, like I said, there's not really a better time to try it and work on things than now. So, I haven't really gotten to dive into today's outing or dissect it or even watch it back. So I'm not really all that sure of what I did in certain counts and, the things that we want to change and what we liked and didn't like. So I'll dive into all that stuff tonight and, I'll probably be able to answer these questions a little better tomorrow. But, that was the main focus in the offseason was getting my changeup and my sinker going. They've been good weapons for me in the past, but I felt really inconsistent with them last year, which caused me to favor the spin a little bit more. So going into 162 games, I'd like to have a good fastball and a good changeup to use to help me get through outings and not just rely on the spin so much.
And I know you've had to learn a lot of new teammates, including Luis Campusano, and he's kind of thrown in the fire with the injury to Ostanola. How is he progressing? What's your comfort level with him at this point?
Yeah, it's nothing more. It's tough because, like I said, I'm working on some things that are not usually in my repertoire and not really something that I would go to. So should we be in season, it would probably be a lot different. But it's tough right now. He doesn't know me that well. I don't know him and the things that he likes to do. So we're communicating as much as we can. And when we're out there in the game, we're trying to get on the same page and flow. We figured out, a way to communicate without having to put signs down. So I can tell him what I want to throw, when I want to throw it, or what side of the plate I want to be on. That the hitter won't be able to find out and that we don't even have to rely on signs for. So it's getting a little bit easier, but it's tough because some of these situations that I'm working through right now are not things that I would normally do. So I feel like, some of these catchers are starting to learn me or think that they're learning me when this is kind of stuff that I'm, trial and error and trying to figure out right now. So it's really just going to take a lot of communication and a lot of trust on my part to rely on these catchers to help me through this first, month or so of the season in the new division with lineups that I probably don't know as well as they do.
Thank you.
Kevin?
Joe, I just wanted to clarify when you talk about doing different things today, were you primarily talking about pitch mix or what is it that you were working on today?
Yeah, the mix a little bit. The sinkers, I've always been predominantly arm side of the plate with the sinkers. So we're really working on getting it to the extension side of the plate and throwing it more to lefties. And the presentation of throwing sinkers to lefties is a lot different than it is to righties. And it might seem like it doesn't make much sense because, whether the guy's right-handed or left-handed, it's still the same pitch, but the visual is a lot different for me. And, I had other weapons that I felt like were strong weapons for me that I had more success with, but, these guys are real firm believers in my sinker being a good weapon to lefties. So I'm giving it a shot and I want to work it as much as I can before we get into season and these games start mattering. No, I mean, I don't know if it would be. I've never gone from 60 to 162. So, that's kind of uncharted territory, but everyone's in the same spot, man. So I think, the only advantage that we have is the work that you put in the off season and the preparation and, the intent behind everything that you're doing and not just doing things as you normally would. Or, there's been plenty of times this spring training where I haven't felt that great on a day, any given day with my delivery or a certain pitch. And, on a normal year where I would go out and continue to drill it and work it and do a little extra throwing, I've just forced myself to shut down and to somewhat take a loss that day and just come back ready to work the next day. Or maybe I go spend a little time in the video room instead of actually throwing and try to figure something out in there. Just anything you can do to save some bullets.
Joe, it's getting toward the end of March now. I'm wondering just how it's sunk in or if it's sinking in that, you've probably got one more outing, but then you're going to get to take the mound at Petco Park as a Padre, grew up a Padre fan. What is that kind of feeling like as we get closer to the season?
Yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. Ultimately it's getting the guys in the clubhouse, to trust me and believe in me and, want to play behind me. So it's going to be exciting getting home in front of fans. I know there's going to be a lot of distractions for me, and I've already experienced a lot of it here. Everyone, especially on days that you're warming up, you're out in the outfield trying to, get your mind right and get ready to throw in the game. And you got people shouting from all over the place. Grossmont High School, Musgrove, I know you this, I know you from this, I know you from this. So it's a lot of distractions, and I love to try to interact with the fans as much as I can, and make their money's worth it. When they come out to watch us play, but that's going to be one of the tougher challenges, I think. But for me, it's always been about getting to know my teammates a little bit and having these guys trust me and have confidence in me when I'm out there. You can't. Something I've realized is you can't please everybody, and there's always going to be someone out there that thinks you're an asshole. And I try to do the best I can, and you guys will see it throughout the year. I mean, I'll be on the foul lines all the way up until 20 minutes before the game, staying and signing for as many people as I can. I interact with a bunch of people. I'm constantly out in the community doing things, so I try to involve myself as much as I can. But like I said, you can't please everybody, and there's going to have to come a point where you're going to have to walk away and leave some kid sitting there wanting an autograph. And I think you just got to do your best to make up for that, when you do have the free time, and not let it interfere and distract you from what you're trying to do.